Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is rejecting from this major level of resistance after we just saw the Trump White House crypto summit just yesterday, which I'll talk about in just a moment, and why that could have possibly been a bit bearish in the short term for Bitcoin, while Ethereum is now just holding on to this important area of support, while the price of Solana is currently retesting this important area of support, while the price of XRP is also doing the same, retesting important support. So are we talking about all of that and more later in the video? So definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today, we need to talk about the Bitcoin and crypto news today, because it was only just yesterday we saw the first ever White House crypto summit, and to summarize it, honestly, it was quite underwhelming. Now, obviously, this was a massive deal, the fact that crypto is being talked about in the White House and Bitcoin specifically, but this event was definitely overhyped, just to sum it up in one word. Now, obviously, you can watch it for yourself. It is on YouTube all over the place, and I will play one quick clip from the event, which I found honestly quite hilarious.
From this day on, America will follow the rule that every Bitcoin knows very well: never sell your Bitcoin. That's a little phrase that they have. I don't know if that's right or not. Who the hell knows, right?
And here we have Michael Saylor's immediate reaction to what Trump just said. So it's quite obvious that Trump obviously does not understand Bitcoin all that much himself. And a lot of people were thinking that we might see some major new announcements at this White House crypto summit, or potential regulations for crypto, things like that. But overall, honestly, we didn't really see all too much. And so obviously it is a big deal for Bitcoin and crypto that it's even been talked about in the White House at this level. But with that being said, a lot of people were really expecting a lot from this event and really didn't get all that much that was new out of this event. So it was basically just overhyped, and a lot of people had high expectations, and basically as soon as it was over, we did see a bit of a pullback in Bitcoin, because obviously people were expecting much more than what actually happened. And so that's just a general summary of this event right here that happened yesterday. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF inflows and outflows for yesterday, for Friday, we saw actually the biggest net outflow that we saw for the week. And so we could see throughout this week, we saw relatively small inflows and outflows. In fact, we saw more outflows than inflows. We only had one day where we had a positive net inflow, which was of course Wednesday, and it was only a $22 million inflow. But on Friday, we saw over 400 million US dollars leave the spot Bitcoin ETFs just on Friday in one single trading day. And so this was also potentially one of the reasons as to why we saw a little bit of a pullback in the price of Bitcoin within the last one day or so, because of some of this sell pressure from the Bitcoin ETFs. Because when we see an outflow, in case you're new to all of this, the ETF providers like BlackRock, for example, are having to dump Bitcoin in order to pay out these outflows in US dollars to the investors. And so with that being said, getting into the Bitcoin charts today, on this 4-day Bitcoin chart, the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, but getting close to possibly flipping red. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, we still have a massive bearish crossover in the weekly Bitcoin MACD to pay attention to, telling us we should not necessarily expect a lot of bullish momentum in the short term, especially based on these last two times this has happened. We either saw a pullback or actually more of a bearish trend form, either over the next few weeks or months. And obviously this has already now been playing out for the last 1 month or so, exactly as expected. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, we still have a massive bearish divergence on the weekly time frame, with higher highs confirmed in the price and lower highs confirmed in the weekly Bitcoin RSI, telling us we should not expect a lot of bullish momentum in the somewhat shorter term for potentially a number of weeks. And I was saying a couple of months ago that most likely for the next few months, we should not be expecting a lot of bullish momentum. And already over the last 1 to 2 months, we have clearly seen that play out exactly as expected. And now, of course, we can see some short-term bullish price action, like bouncing from support or bouncing from oversold signals and things like that. So we can see little bullish moves here and there in the short term, but not necessarily a lot of bullish momentum towards the upside on the larger timeframes, like for example what we saw back in November last year or around February last year, for example. I don't really expect that, at least for the next few weeks or so, or possibly months. But while we're waiting for the next major trading opportunity in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, of course, you have to be set up ready to go on an exchange in order to trade these moves in the price of crypto. And personally, I'm starting to take more of my trades over on 2bit, so I'll make sure to leave a link to 2bit below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can claim some massive trading bonuses, like for example, a brand new Mercedes-Benz or $50,000 in trading rewards, simply just by making an account using that link and trading crypto. But if you're not one of these larger traders here, you can still claim some decent bonuses by using the link below this video, like for example, a $30 sign up bonus and also a 20% deposit rebate up to a max of 200 USDT. So for example, if you deposit $1,000, you get a $200 bonus onto your new 2bit account, but only if you use that link. And on top of all of that, if you use the link below this video to 2bit, you are automatically upgraded to VIP level 1 trading fees, which basically means you have lowered trading fees. You get a massive fee discount over on 2bit, but once again, that's only available if you use the link below this video to 2bit. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link below this video. And in case you're wondering, 2bit is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But as always, check your local regulations when it comes to trading crypto. And for whatever reason, if you don't want 2bit or if you cannot access 2bit for whatever reason, there is also Bitfinex as another option out there, another exchange that I also trade on. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitfinex below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And that link, by the way, will take you to this page where you can also claim some massive trading bonuses. And on top of that, Bitfinex is also a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is rejecting from this previous Fibonacci level of support, currently acting as resistance, and that's sitting at close to 92,000. But I've been saying here on the channel that really in between around 92k to let's just say around 95k, basically in the lower half of the 90k area, that is major resistance to pay attention to, considering the fact that previously it was significant support back here. And usually when we break below a significant support level, that flips into new resistance. And as for support to watch out for right now, we do have a lot of support at approximately 82 to 83,000 based on this Fibonacci level, and also this local low proving it as supported in the lower 80k area. But if we break below around 82,000 approximately with a daily candle close, for example, below 82,000, in that case, we have this 50% retracement level at around 75,000, give or take. But we also have this massive area of previous resistance becoming new support, sitting in between around 70,000 to 74,000. And we also have a lot of traded volume in the volume profile indicator, sitting in between around 67,000 to 70,000. So basically in the lower 70k area and the high 60k area, around there on the price chart, that is the next significant area of support if the price first breaks below around 82,000. And if we're taking another look at the volume profile indicator here on the 3-day Bitcoin price chart, we also have a decent amount of traded volume sitting in between around 95,000 to 98,000 approximately. So that could also act as resistance around there. But really, I would mainly be focusing on previous support becoming new resistance, because as we can see, we've already seen a rejection from this area sitting in between around 94 to 95,000. So mainly at around that low to mid 90k area, that's the major resistance to pay attention to. And from a technical point of view, from a price structure point of view, I would only start to flip more bullish again on the price of Bitcoin if we can at least see a confirmed breakout back above around 95k, give or take, and ideally back above around 98k. That would be the ideal level, but at least above around 95k with candle closes back above that level and holding that as support. That would be basically price structure obviously heading in the bullish direction. That would be very good news if we can actually do that. But for now, the larger price structure here on the daily time frame is obviously heading in the bearish direction. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, looking at the last 3 months worth of price history, we do have a lot of liquidity towards the downside, sitting at around 71,000 to 73,000 approximately. So just keep that in mind. But if we're zooming into the somewhat shorter term, looking at the immediate liquidity to pay attention to, we still have some liquidity towards the upside, like for example, around 95,000 and also 97,000 approximately. So keep that in mind as well. But with that being said, before we can hit that level of liquidity, we have once again resistance to watch out for right here, as I said earlier. And of course, below that 70k 70k area, around that 70k area, just before we could hit those levels, we also have this support at around 82 to 83,000. And so ultimately, as I always say, we cannot really ignore support or resistance levels, which means at least for now, in the shorter term, the price of Bitcoin is simply just bouncing around sideways in between support and resistance. That's the current situation. So we're kind of lacking momentum to either direction, at least in the shorter term, but the longer term situation on the larger time frames, at least for now, is currently trending a little bit more bearish than it is bullish, especially based on this signal in the MACD and also this larger bearish divergence telling us we should not really be expecting a lot of bullish momentum, at least for a number of weeks. But with that being said, if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the weekly time frame, right now the price structure is still looking very bearish for Ethereum. Basically, ever since we broke below this very important multi-year line of support that has been support since the middle of 2022, the moment we confirmed to break below that level of support, that was extremely bearish for the larger price structure here. And we're also potentially starting to break below these previous lows, but we're still yet to actually confirm a weekly candle close below these lows, which the main level to pay attention to is at approximately 2.1k. But if we're taking a look at the 3-day Ethereum chart, we have the golden pocket area of support sitting in between around 2150 to 2.2k, which at least for now, as of recording this video, the price is just holding on to this area of support, as we can see. So there's still a small amount of hope for Ethereum, at least in the short term. But essentially, if we confirm a break below around 2150 and especially below that 2.1k level, in that case, especially with candle closes below that level, I would expect to move at least down towards this next Fibonacci level of support, which is sitting at just underneath 1.9k, around 1880. And below that Fibonacci level of support, if we break below that level, I'll be targeting around 1,500. And so overall, Ethereum is simply looking bearish if we're just objectively looking at the price structure here. But at least in the immediate short term, with the price running into this area of support, the price might stabilize for a little bit as this support comes into play just in the short term. But with that being said, taking a look at the price of Solana on the weekly time frame, and it's basically the same story for Solana as what I just said for Ethereum. Basically, we're seeing a major breakdown below an important trend line of support that has acted as major support for over a year now for the price of Solana since the beginning of around 2024. And so obviously, this is simply bearish price structure anytime we break below an important line of support. And technically, this is helping to activate a bearish price target based on this massive rising wedge pattern, with the price target sitting at around $90 per Solana. But as I always say, even if we have a price target in play, we cannot ignore other points of support and resistance. So for example, we have a lot of previous support sitting in between around $120 to $130, where we've previously seen many bounces from. And we also just around a week ago, give or take, saw a perfect bounce from in between 120 to 130. And I've been saying that as support since before we saw that bounce. And so just keep that in mind. That is an area on the price chart that can potentially prevent the price from going lower if there's simply enough buyers within this area. But if we start breaking below around 120, especially with candle closes below 120 on the larger time frames here, in that case, expect to move down towards roughly $90 as the next major price target if we first break below this support. And with that being said, if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the daily time frame, as of recording this video, the price of Solana is retesting this short-term area of support in between around 133 to 139. But if we break below around 133, in that case, we have this short-term area of support in between around 123 to 125. So like I said earlier, really at around 120 to 130, give or take, that's the major support to pay attention to. And as for resistance, if we see some sort of bounce from these points of support here, in that case, expect a lot of resistance at approximately 155 to 160, give or take. And above that, a lot more resistance in between around 178 to 183. And overall, the price of Solana will likely follow somewhat similar price action to Ethereum and Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin, for example, has a massive bullish move or a massive bearish move, expect something similar for Solana and a lot of the major altcoins out there. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the 3-day time frame, at least for now, we still have a massive bearish divergence, which is indeed active for the price of XRP, with higher highs confirmed on this 3-day XRP chart in the candle closes in the price and lower highs highs confirmed in the 3-day XRP RSI. And so this massive bearish divergence simply tells us we should not really be expecting a lot of bullish momentum. Now, of course, we can see the occasional short-term bullish move, like bouncing from support levels or bouncing from oversold signals in the shorter term, but not necessarily a lot of momentum, sustained momentum towards the upside, at least for the next few weeks as the most likely scenario, possibly months. And if we're taking a look at this 8-hour XRP chart, at least as of right now, the price of XRP is continuing that previous rejection from pretty much exactly around $2.65, which is where this area of resistance is starting. So obviously I've been talking about this resistance in between 265 to 280 before we saw that exact rejection from $2.65. And so obviously for now, that is still the resistance to pay attention to. But if we see a breakout above around 265 to 280, in that case, expect the next resistance at $3, and above that, more resistance at around $3.20. And as for support, which we're basically currently running into, that's sitting in between around $2.25 to $2.30. And previously, we have seen many bounces from within that area. But if we break below around $2.25 with candle closes below that level, in that case, expect to move most likely closer towards around $2, because the next major area of support towards the downside below $2.25 is sitting in between $1.95 to $2.05, so roughly around $2. And at least for now, while the price of XRP is still above that $2.25 to $2.30 support area, it is possible we can remain within a bit of a sideways price range, as we can see, basically just bouncing around between support and resistance. But like I just said earlier, if we break below $2.25, expect a further drop closer towards $2. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, over the last 1 to 2 days, we continued that rejection that I talked about a couple of days ago from this exact retracement level of previous support becoming new resistance, sitting at approximately $17.60. But as I've been saying here on the channel since before both of these rejections here, I've been saying expect a lot of resistance, expect rejections from within around $17.50 to $18. And so far we've seen exactly 2 rejections from within that area. And so obviously this is still showing us that we are simply forming bearish price structure, flipping previous support into new resistance. So in case we see another bounce here, continue to expect a lot of resistance in between $17.50 to $18. But if we were to finally see a confirmed breakout with candle closes back above $18, in that case, expect the next area of resistance in between around $19.50 to $20. But as of right now, as of recording this video, the price of Chainlink is currently retesting the golden pocket area of support, which is sitting in between around $14.90 to $15.50. And so we could find some support around this area, but if we see a further move below $14.90, in that case, we could also find some support at around $14.40 approximately, based on these local lows just here, based on the candle closes. But if we break below essentially this entire area of support just here, expect a continued move down towards roughly $13, around $12.80 to $13 as the next point of support. And in a more bearish scenario, if we break below around $13 to $12.80, in that case, expect to move closer towards $10. But overall, the situation has not really changed over the last few days. I've been saying for a long time now on the channel, since much higher prices, that we are simply within a larger bearish trend. We're playing out larger bearish price structure for the price of Chainlink. As we can see, clearly lower highs and lower lows forming, breaking below key support levels and rejecting from previous support, becoming new resistance, which is all bearish price structure. But believe it or not, you can still profit during bearish price action with using short positions and things like that, for example, to actually profit along the way towards the downside. Or if you're not really a leverage trader, derivatives trader, you can also simply just wait for some lower prices in order to accumulate cheaper crypto assets if you're more of a longer term spot trader, for example. So there's still ways to actually profit and benefit from bearish price action. And so during these stages in the market, these are the stages where a lot of people lose interest in crypto. But honestly, these are the stages in the market where you should be paying the most attention, because as we see more and more bearish price action, that's when the opportunities in crypto actually get bigger and bigger. The opportunities are not up here after we see a lot of bullish price action. The opportunities are after we already see a lot of bearish price action. And once again, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto, check out the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim those massive bonuses that you can only claim using those links. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto for yourself, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.